In this lesson, we'll take a look at how we can utilize the ward derivative shader. So the ward derivative and the ward shaders both are the exact same type of shader as far as using the same exact kind of attributes and light calculation method. The only difference is that the ward derivative already has some of the attributes built into it to automatically start to give us some of this anisotropic specular highlight. So if you recall from our lesson on just using the ward shader, we actually had to use a couple of additional nodes plugged into the shader in order to get this result. The ward derivative, again, does not require those additional nodes. So to illustrate this, let's start by taking our object, and if we were to just simply render this, you can see that we're just using a standard Maya blend. We have no anisotropic highlights on any of these objects. So let's just select these, right-click on the shader, and assign our ward derivative shader. Alright, now you'll notice that whenever the shader is first dropped in, it will be quite bright. So let's take the shader itself, let's make sure its ambience is dropped all the way down, so that way it's not contributing any kind of final gather illumination. And we'll also take this diffuse color and drop it down a little bit, just so that the specular highlight will be a little bit easier to see. There we go, and you can see right away how we start to get some of these kind of stretched, sort of a brushed metal type specular highlight. Alright, now we do have the ability to control the overall color of this specular highlight through the use of this glossy attribute. So you'll notice that as this glossiness starts to decrease, the overall strength of our specular highlight also goes down. So we can start to use that to lower the overall effect and the overall strength of our specular highlights. Now just below that we have the attributes for shiny U and shiny V, which are horizontal and vertical stretching. So you'll notice that as these values are pretty much identical, if we were to match these up, we now start to lose all the effect of this brushed metal appearance. And now we just get a standard round specular highlight. Alright, so as we start to increase this shiny V, start to increase that, and at the same time start to decrease the shiny U, start to make our highlights stretch around the other direction of this object. And that's actually the opposite direction of what I should have taken that, so let's pretty much switch these values. We'll start to give this a much higher shiny U, and start to decrease the shiny V. Now, even though in the shader it looks like this should be stretching the highlight vertically, it's actually taking the object's world space into account, or this object space into account. So that's how we start to get maybe a little bit different result on the surface itself versus what we see in the preview swatch. There we go, and now we start to get our specular highlights that are able to stretch around this other direction. So that's a look at how we can utilize some of these shiny U and shiny V features in the ward derivative shader.